The GT2 Veiling Res, Britain's hot hatch of the 21st century. A car that was built to help revitalise the auto manufacturing industry in the UK, but instead fell to obscurity and only made a name for itself in a few small racing series throughout Europe. Even with a good engine, the Res lacked the power of many modern racing cars, and while racing was close, many people were left wanting more. That's when Cody stepped in.
Wheels on fire, rolling down the road.
Introducing the ZR, a faster, more powerful and more fun to drive car. Superior suspension gave drivers a much more stable ride, higher quality tyres offered more grip, and it came with 3 different drivetrain options. However, drivers were still left wanting something more. The GRC had run 2 great racing seasons, but wanted something extra special for the 3rd league season started in 2007. The GRC wanted a car for every driver, not a driver for every car. With this goal in mind, 5 exclusive contracts were signed with 5 of Europe's biggest names in world motorsport. These 5 manufacturers worked closely with the GRC to rebalance the performance of their cars so that the races would be more exciting and more challenging than ever before. Introducing the next generation of motorsport exclusive to the GRC. The BMW M3, one of the most iconic sports cars of the last couple of decades, now offered to the GRC, packing a big engine that sounds every bit as weird as it goes, and a leery body kit with BMW's trademark wheel arches and side skirts. On the track, the M3 offers you almost obscene amounts of power, delivered to the back wheels via a 5-speed transmission. In a straight line, it makes it to 141 miles an hour before it reaches maximum output. In corners, you'll find the M3 very good at the apex and at the exit, although some of the heavier footed drivers may experience some lateral G-force if they apply too much acceleration during the exit. Alfa Romeo were keen to offer the GRC their 147 model hatchback as one of our front-wheel drive contenders. With a special new engine and a modified chassis, the Alfa 147 offers drivers a smooth, responsive and stable drive. The old Alfa Romeo catchphrase of "beauty is not enough" definitely applies to this car. The engine allows you a top speed of 139 miles an hour, and even then keeps giving the feeling that it wants to give you more. It feels so controlled and clean through corners that you almost forget that you're in a car. It's as if you're driving the Eurostar. You turn in and the car doesn't even bat an eyelid. This level of control does come at a price though. It will not outrun anything in a straight line, but with a car like this, that's as easy going on both the driver and the tyres, will that really be a problem? But those are just for starters. Let's have a look at main course. This is Renault's new Megane, but with some important differences. This car doesn't have any particular advantage. Instead, it excels at just about everything. It has great cornering speed, a lightning quick top speed of 140 miles an hour, and is possibly the most responsive of all the new GRC cars. So far it's all looking pretty good for the Megane. So, what's the catch? Well, this is the catch. While the car is nowhere even close to feeling as dangerous as it used to, it is still by far the most difficult car to get the full potential out of. The driver needs to have excellent experience of control and a fine-tuned racing instinct to keep facing forwards. It is incredibly rewarding though when you learn how to drive it, and it should remain competitive on every track. The Megane almost becomes a new car entirely with just minor setup tweaks, but always keeps that knife edge feel. From a racing perspective, the car is very easy on its tyres and will take a long time before it starts to lose grip. Of the German manufacturers, there was one who could not allow BMW to take all the glory. GRC spent a lot of time and resources working with the manufacturer's engineers to make sure that this machine would perform exactly to our specification. Presenting the Porsche 911. Unique for its rear engine design, the 911 is a car that has its priorities all mixed up. However, it is a delight to drive and is even more rewarding than the Renault when you finally get it gliding around the corners. Gliding being the key word here, since the 911 suffers from severe mid-corner understeer. Drivers can often solve this by inducing some throttle oversteer, but you will eat through your tyres very quickly by doing this. But don't let that put you off. In fact, this car is a proper driver's car. The car responds to you nicely, has lots of grunt and maintains its speed going into the corners. It's not the fastest of the group with a top speed of 140 miles an hour, but the cornering speeds are more than enough to make up for this. Last but not least, the other front-wheel drive contender. This is the intermediary car for those who can't get along with having to push cars around the track using the back wheels. But it's also for people who don't want the little Alfa Romeo 147 holding them back. This car is the fastest of the pack, proving you don't need to be big to be strong, you just need to have an attitude. This car is the Seat Leon, and it has lots of attitude. Much like the BMW, this car is not for the heavy-footed. The power that gives the car its high speed of 145 miles an hour also causes lots of wheel spin, which in turn superheats the tyres and wears them down much quicker than normal. The Leon will also suffer from the same mid-corner understeer that the Porsche 911 does. This means that on long tracks with big straight sections, the Leon will have a distinct advantage. However, the low grip and lack of sufficient downforce may make the car awkward in corners and on twisty circuits, its only saving grace being the excellent braking stability. So, there you have it. 5 cars. The Seat Leon is the fastest, Porsche 911 is the most rewarding, the Renault Megane is the most competitive, the BMW M3 has the best power to balance ratio, and the Alfa Romeo 147 has the best stability and control. Which car will you drive in the GRC Trophy? Which manufacturer will triumph in the Constructors' Cup?